Breaking. Victoria Sterling, hospitalized after public breakdown, claims reality is fake news. The headlines were getting weirder by the hour. Victoria had been admitted to a psychiatric facility after trying to convince the doctors that she was living in a simulation designed to make her look bad. But that wasn't the end of the story. It was just the beginning. I was back behind the counter at Grind Coffee, enjoying the last few days of my barista experiment, when Marcus Webb walked in. He looked like he hadn't slept in a week. "Alex," he said, approaching the counter cautiously, "we need to talk." "I'm working," I replied, not looking up from the espresso machine. "My shift ends at 3 p.m. This is about Victoria." "What about her?" Marcus glanced around nervously. She's hiring a private investigator. To prove you're not real." I looked up at him. "She's in a psychiatric facility. She checked herself out, against medical advice." Marcus lowered his voice. "She's convinced that you're part of an elaborate conspiracy to drive her insane." Just then, the cafe door burst open. Victoria Sterling walked in, but she looked completely different. Her hair was disheveled, she was wearing a rumpled tracksuit, and her eyes had a manic gleam. "I knew it," she shouted, pointing at me. "I knew you'd be here, you fake." The entire cafe went silent. Customers pulled out their phones, sensing another viral moment. "Victoria," I said calmly, "how are you feeling? Don't you patronize me. I've figured out your whole scheme." She pulled out a thick folder and slammed it on the counter. "I hired the best private investigator in the Bay Area, and he's found proof that you're not Alex Chen." "Really? What kind of proof?" Victoria opened the folder with trembling hands. "First, Alex Chen's birth certificate. Born in San Francisco, March 15, 1999. "That's correct." "But you were born in Oakland," she screamed triumphantly. "No, I was born in San Francisco. I grew up in Oakland." Victoria's face fell for a moment, then brightened again. "That's what you claim, but I have witnesses who saw you in Oakland as a child." "Because I lived there from age 3 to 18, but the birth certificate says San Francisco." "Because that's where I was born, before we moved to Oakland." The crowd was watching this exchange like a tennis match. Victoria was clearly struggling to process the information. That's not, you're confusing me on purpose," she sputtered. "Victoria, being born in one place and growing up in another isn't unusual. But it proves you're lying about something." I handed a customer their lot, then turned back to Victoria. "What else does your investigation?"